Yesterday, the chairperson of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, delivered his political report, a very detailed report. We touched on matters pertaining to the challenges within the party, reflecting as well on the work that has been done by the leadership, and of course himself as the chairperson who's been leading the ANC in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, as well as now looking at going forward in the direction in which they would want to see the party going. Very important points and proposals that the chairperson touched on yesterday. She's joining me now to just recap on his report yesterday, your political report yesterday, Chair. Very, very important. I think of all the speeches that were delivered yesterday, we finally got to see firstly a look back at the ANC. Let's just take it now for you. The party, and you've said that you have not been shy to say that the party is going through some of its challenges at the moment, but you had your views on what are the issues and where the ANC is at and why the current issues that the party is faced with.
Well, I think the first thing is that global liberation movement are going through the challenging moments. There is a prevalence of a strong right-wing movements. We've seen in the United States the elections held last year, resulting in the elections of the current president. We've seen what is happening in Britain, though the recent elections have shown progress. But also in our own continent, there are a number of challenges which are confronting liberation movement. But equally, the ANC is facing challenges. Of different note is that the challenges of the ANC are not starting today. Yesterday we said, as the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, we welcome the opportunity to engage with the veterans of the ANC and other stakeholders in a form of a national dialogue. We are told that initially they requested to have a national consultative conference with the ANC. We didn't have a problem with that. The ANC did have a consultative conference in 1962 in Lubatsi. The second one was in Morogoro. The third one was in Kwabe. The fourth was after unpenning. The consultative conferences shall never be above the constitutional structures of the ANC, and therefore we can have an engagement with the veterans. We respect the veterans. However, some of these comrades who are speaking as part of 101 have never been in the organization for the past 10 years. Not because anyone marginalized them, but because after the 2007 conference, they took a view that they will not participate, they will not be in the elections. When the former president Mbeki was withdrawn from being the president, they took a view that they will all even not support the ANC on the elections campaign. Yet they come now as if the problems is about the current leadership. The problem started by that time up until now. So we will want to have that dialogue with the veterans of the ANC and to engage on what is the role of the veterans and canvass in the next in the first two which will be dedicated by to the national dialogue. However, we're not denialist. We cannot undermine that there are challenges, especially challenge of unity, as well as challenges of which we have characterized as sins of incumbents, corruption, patronage, and all of those tendencies, including manipulation of membership. We're saying one of the fundamental weaknesses in the ANC is a lack of the capacity to implement resolutions that we have taken as resolutions to the problems we appreciate and acknowledge. And therefore, it doesn't help to identify a problem, but don't implement a solution. And we must also look on that as to why there has been a failure of implementing solutions in the ANC. But more important is a question: what does it mean to be in the revolution today. What is the revolution on track? Is the National Democratic Revolution on track? We believe it is on track. We believe the liberation movement, the ANC, is leading the broader society, but also there are constraints. Internal, which are subjective constraints, but also objective challenges. With all of that, we believe the ANC is still the leader of the society. We have seen the alliance. We believe the manner in which the alliance at a national level is portraying itself does not assist the unity of the ANC. If COSATU says the president of the ANC should not address them, what does that mean? Who should then address them on behalf of the ANC? Are they selective that one person or some leaders must address them and others must not address them? What does that represent? Because it is for us, if they say President Zuma must step down as the president of the country, not as the president of the ANC. Therefore, why they will refuse him to speak as the president of the ANC? And for us, it might be a question of attaching their views to an individual person and therefore not allow other person, which will literally mean is to ban the president of the ANC in favor of a faction in the ANC. And it will not augur well for any alliance partner to factionalize the ANC. We believe issues of this nature must be debated internally in the movement.
Chair, let's speak at the commissions. The delegates are about to enter into a commission's very important discussions that they'll be engaging on. Yesterday, you touched on some of the key proposals that the delegates will be deliberating on, issues of land. But what do you see from the province of KwaZulu-Natal and the standpoint that the ANC has taken? What are the key proposals that, as the ANC, you want to advance moving as you are heading to the National Policy Conference?
Well, without preempting the discussion in the commissions, but of course we've had preparations from ourselves as the PEC, receiving discussion documents, having workshops, and most of the region held regional general councils coming to this provincial general council. We believe our approach should respond to strategic challenges facing us. And the current challenge that is facing the country is that of addressing unemployment, inequality, and high level of poverty. To address that, we need radical economic transformation. The first, the strategy and tactic is quite clear. We will not address challenges of the economy in this country if we don't attend to the issue of land. And for us, for government to continue paying for land does not augur well. And that is one issue we're going to be discussing going to the national conference. The second is the question of minerals. The first is that we're here at Comrades saying no, the mining charter that have been proclaimed by the minister need to be reviewed. If you get through that mining charter, it will tell you 14%, just 14% is for PEE, 8% is for the local community, another 8% is for the workers in that. So is that wrong? What is it that is wrong about that? Those who are saying it's adventurism should guard against possibility of them having been consumed and absorbed by the system we seek to address, and therefore have become conformist. We need a revolution, we need change. Ours is to say the government must have a stake in the mining companies in this country. We must not just say you've got a license, but we must say now here it's a license, but the government will have shares, and we must determine those shares. The last is that radical economic transformation should be expedited, and radical economic transformation will be realized through industrialization, and we must stop exportation of raw material from South Africa to other countries.
Chair, thank you so much for your time. The chairperson of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, Sihle Zikalala, just of course taking us through his political report that he delivered at the PGC, or the Provincial General Council, taking place here at the University of Zululand in Mpangeni. Of course, delegates are now going to go into commissions, and thereafter this afternoon we will get report backs on the discussions that took place at those commissions. Pearl, back to you.
And that was our reporter, Anyanda Mhlongo, coming to us live from Durban. She will be catching up with us throughout the show and, of course, in later programs as the event carries on there in Durban.